Hello and welcome to my weekly video blog, and today on A Vogel Talks Menopause I'm going to be talking about what are the 3 worst digestive symptoms. If you like my tips and advice, then please subscribe and remember to hit the bell icon so you can be notified of all my new videos. I've talked about this before. We know that digestive symptoms are so common in the perimenopause and the menopause. There are many different ones, and very often they are not associated or linked to the perimenopause or menopause. So a lot of women are worrying about the fact that suddenly their digestion is going all over the place and they have absolutely no idea why. So today I'm going to look at probably the 3 most common and the most distressing ones, why they happen and what you can do to help yourself. So number 1 is constipation, and this can affect so many other symptoms as well. What we do know is that there are lots of estrogen receptor sites throughout the digestive tract, and when your estrogen starts to decrease, that will have a direct effect on your digestion, absorption, stomach issues, and also what they call transit time. And transit time is the time from when you've eaten your meal until you open your bowels to go to the toilet. In normal circumstances, if you're eating 3 meals a day, then you should be going at least twice a day, and you should be going within maximum 24 hours of when you've eaten that last meal. For a lot of women, when everything starts to slow down, they may be taking twice as long. So you could still be regular. You could still think, oh, I'm going every day, I'm going twice a day, but it's taking twice as long for everything to pass all the way through. And in that slower transit time, everything is just going to be sitting in the gut. It's going to be fermenting. So it's going to cause a lot of bloating. It's going to cause a lot of discomfort because you might feel that you're really full and really hard here, and you get the bulge. So, some people tell me that they look as if they're pregnant because their lower tummy is just bulging out and expanding so much. So constipation, if everything is stuck there for days instead of being eliminated, that's going to cause fatigue, it's going to cause headaches, it's going to cause foggy brain. And if you've also got stress as well, that can compound the problem and slow things down even further. So constipation is a really important one to deal with as quickly as you possibly can. The problem is, how long do you know that it takes for everything to get right the way through? It's not easy, especially if you are still going every day. So you can do either the sweet corn test or the beetroot test. So in your main meal, you either have a nice portion of sweet corn, and try not to chew it. This is the only time I say don't chew. Or you can have a really good portion of beetroot. And both of these will show up when you open your bowels. Sweet corn very rarely gets broken down, so that will be quite evident. And beetroot will tend to turn everything a purpley colour. And that will give you a good guide as to how long everything is taking to get through the gut. So if it's more than 24 hours, you know that that's the point you need to do something. If you're only going to the toilet every 2 or 3 days, then again, that really needs to be sorted because it's not going to be good for you over time. So the main things to do here, loads of water, because remember, dehydration will affect digestion and elimination as well. Have more fibre in your diet. Have the right kinds. Don't have platefuls of bran because you'll blow up like a balloon. So much more fresh vegetables, a little bit of fruit, whole grain. So that will be brown bread, wholemeal bread, brown pasta, brown rice. They can all help to improve elimination. If you're really stuck, a glass of prune juice, it's one of these old-fashioned favourites, but it can work really, really well. And the other thing is to go for a good walk every day. If you are walking, this movement is helping to massage the whole of your digestive tract in here, and that will help to keep everything moving too. So it's walking, it's great for your mental health, it's good for controlling your weight, and it's also good for your elimination. Number 2 is wind and bloating. So of course, it's associated with constipation. But what can happen too is it can just be you're eating too much carbohydrates. Carbohydrates, especially if your digestion is a bit slower, it's going to sit there again, it's going to ferment, and that's going to cause a lot of wind as well. If you're sitting a lot, your digestion isn't getting that massage from being active, and that's going to cause the bloating. So everything again is going to be sitting there quite uncomfortably. Again, water is really important. Get the fibre into you as well, but not the carbohydrates. Maybe cut out things like your pasta and rice, and try and really cut down on your bread. You could also take a probiotic that can be very, very helpful for bloating and for wind. And number 3 is heartburn. And this is one, heartburn, gastric reflux, is one that is just so not picked up as being a menopause symptom, but it seems to be a really, really common one. It's very often due to low acidity. So falling estrogen decreases the production of stomach acid. If you're not getting enough stomach acid, your food is not breaking down in your stomach. So it's sitting in the stomach up here. It just starts to ferment. So that's going to put pressure on the stomach valve. You might get your acid reflux, and you're also going to get that burning sensation, that heartburn sensation, which often sometimes you can feel right round here as well. So this particular one very often happens because you're sitting at your desk or sitting at the TV eating. When you are eating, your stomach needs plenty of room in order for it to mash everything up and break everything down. So if you're sitting like this with food on your lap or sitting at your desk, your stomach can't actually break things down properly. So of course, everything is just going to sit there and ferment. This can also happen if you're eating on the run, if you're really busy and you're going from A to B and you're trying to eat, trying to drive, trying to walk. Again, if you're really active, your digestive juices are not going to kick in and everything is just going to sit there as well. So the things you can do here is look at, there is a herb called Centaury, which is known to help improve stomach function. Remember to relax when you eat and remember to eat at a table. And that, you know, if you remember your parents saying, you know, sit up at the table with your elbows down, it's very sensible because that allows your stomach to work properly. So just remember to take your time, chew really well. And this is a little bit of homework for everybody. The majority of people eat too quickly and digestion starts in the mouth. So if you chomp, chomp, swallow, there's going to be big lumps of food in your stomach and that's going to cause a lot of problems. So you need to chew each mouthful 20 times. Try it, you will be amazed because it takes ages. But one of the great things about chewing 20 times is that it will take longer for you to eat your meal and you may find that you get fuller quicker and you can end up eating less. So it's a nice way of helping you to monitor how much food that you are actually eating. There are other digestive issues that are quite common for some women. Diarrhea. You may also find that if you have IBS as you're approaching the menopause, that your digestive system gets worse, your symptoms get worse. So these are other areas that you can maybe look at improving your digestion. So I hope you found this one helpful. It's such a big issue, and I think when I first came to the conclusion that, you know, digestive problems were part of the menopause, it was really quite a surprise, because it's all encompassing the whole way from the mouth right the way through to the bowel. So if any of you out there have any other tips, if you have experienced any other digestive problems and you're wondering whether it's part of the perimenopause or the menopause, please do comment. And until then, I will see you next week for another edition of A Vogel Talks Menopause.